Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining. Today is the 6th teleconference call. We're going to be talking about our protection tools, basically, how to install them, and all that good stuff, the shielding, all that stuff, as to how I do it. And again, other people do it differently, so it's all good. But if again you could use, the ones that I use, and it helped you, that's great. It's an additional arsenal that you have to protect yourself against all the weirdness that is happening in the world today. I think we kind of know that it's kind of strange. So I wanted to maybe start off with you all, since there's not so many of us on the call, and bear with me as I turn off my cell phone so it doesn't ring in the middle here. I wanted to ask you all what reasons you think that we would need protection, okay? So why would we need protection in this world, do you feel? I mean, if the world is, as a lot of people tend to say, in divine order, everything is in divine order, why would we need protection, right? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Yet those same people kind of shield themselves when they go into meditation, and they shield themselves when they, are going into a place that maybe they don't know about because they don't want to pick up energy from other people. So if the energy was in divine order, there would be no need to protect ourselves. So it's kind of contradicting, So I'm wondering if you want to share why you think is important for you to be protected, if you want to share.
This is Patty.
Hey, Patty.
Hey, my neighborhood is really scary.
Okay.
I need protection. There was a murder a block away from me.
Ooh.
And there was a death 2 months. There's death all around me, you guys.
Yeah.
Going on in this trailer parking where I live in this particular area of my town.
Okay.
And this one was a little easier on me because I did not know the lady, but she was stabbed by her boyfriend.
Oh, wow.
And it's just domestic violence again, and
Yeah. Yeah.
And I lived that life. I lived that kind of a lifestyle earlier on in my life where I was into drugs, so I know what's going on.
Uh-huh.
But I need to be protected from it because I seem to get my big mouth in the right place at the wrong time.
I understand. Yeah.
So.
I think I can empathize with that myself. Anyone else want to share as to why they feel that they may need protection? You don't have to share. I'm just saying.
This is Tom.
Oh, hey, Tom.
I'm going to quote Leo Kotke's song, "Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am."
Mm-hmm.
Right. Got it.
This isn't anything but divine here. It's supposed to be, but it's our job to bring it back to divine order. Right now, We're surrounded by madness.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it's, whatever has been unleashed, and it looks like it's rampant everywhere. It's going unchecked, and, nobody's really putting a stop to it, So I guess if we haven't been able to, put a stop to it, then we at least have to protect ourselves and our loved ones, and we just need to kind of know how to do that. Anyone else?
With this situation, as it is now, I think the best plan for me is protect myself and those around me, and let
it go over you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. All right. Anyone else?
Oh, it's Christine. I just wanted to share that, I've always known that you've had to have protection, but what kind of hit home with that was, and I was in a bad marriage too, and I'm reading your book. There's a lot of parallels between you and I. I was like, oh my God, I went through that too. And my husband was pretty dark, and one night, my middle child, he came into my room because he got scared to climb into the bed, and My husband slept on one side of the bed, and I slept on the other, obviously. And at the time, my ex-husband now. But as he was approaching my bed, he saw a dark demon figure with red eyes coming toward him from his dad's side.
Mm-hmm.
And then he saw an angel on my side come in front.
Wow.
To stop it, yeah. And I guess that's kind of how I always had a feeling that was going on in my room, but that wasn't the first time one of the kids saw an angel at the foot of my bed. But we're always at attack. Sometimes we don't see it, but there are dark forces that are there. Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah. That's the aspect of the realms that we don't see, that are very real, and this stuff is really going on,
Yeah.
And so it kind of trickles down to our reality as well. Yeah, and Tom makes a very good point. He says kids have no filters yet. That's true. Mm-hmm. They can see things readily, and so can animals. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my animals see them all the time, All right, and Geneva, did you want to make any comments or share anything? Or is Geneva still on the call? Maybe she's muted. Okay. All right. So, there are very good reasons why to protect ourselves, especially in this realm. And so we're going to go over the different tools that I use to do that. And believe me when I tell you that if I don't know how far you're into the book, Christine, but I don't, some of the stories are, and since that happened, those things happened, a lot more have happened too. So
wow.
That I can tell you that this stuff really works. Yeah. All right. So we're going to go basically start again. I'm going to go over real quick, do a little mini version of the manifestation process again, just to recap, so you see how everything is put together, and the reason why we've taken everything step by step. All right, because you can say, you could just have read all this, and but in reality, you really have to do one thing, get it right, and then you just keep building on it and building on it until you get really strong and everything kind of fits together like a little Lego, like little puzzles, So the first thing, again, remember manifestation is that you come in without any expectation. So you're coming in neutral with no attachment to the outcome. So whatever it is that you need to have done, you have absolutely no attachment whatsoever. You're totally neutral whether it happens or not. It's irrelevant. Whether it happens or not is irrelevant. You're okay either way. All right? Then you set your intention. What is it that you want? What is it? And, after you figure out what it is, what is it? Is it a job? Is it money? Is it a vehicle? Is it protection? Whatever that is, well, then be very, very specific. What does this thing look like? Okay, what does that job look like? How much money is it that you need? What kind of protection is it that you're seeking? Okay, so you got to be very, very specific. And then you've got to imagine this. You got to use your visualization process to be able to get this to work for you. So how does it look like? Okay, how does this job look like? Who are the people that you're going to interact with? What kind of things are you doing? What are you visualizing yourself doing in the job? Okay, very, very specific, and using your imagination all the way through. That the outcome of this is the way that you want it, so that you know that it's already happened. And for that to occur, for you to have that knowing, you have to experience using all your senses. Okay, so to make it real, to anchor it, to make it real. So you know that it's already happened because you're in that room, maybe in that job, and you're actually smelling the coffee brewing in the break room. You're actually getting maybe a paper cut. You're actually hearing maybe people making telephone calls. Okay, you bang your knee on the drawer, so you're feeling pain. So you got to engage all your senses. So because then it becomes real, and then you're anchoring it into reality. It actually, what happens is it records. It actually it's almost like a recording, like a magnetic tape, and it records in the Akashic records, and therefore it has no other outcome but to play out. It has to be manifest. Okay, that's the reason that we're doing all of that. All right, and all right, so we've got to know that because we're feeling it and we're sensing it, that it's already happened, and the knowing again happens with all those other techniques that we used before of how to experience knowing. It's a certainty. There's no other outcome but that. Okay, and so therefore you expect it to happen with no attachments, but you expect it to happen.
That is so much stronger than what we used to say. Well, I'm 64, and we used to say, "Fake it till you make it."
Yeah. Well, that's also a technique that I've used in the past, where I've had to fake it till I make it. But see, when you're faking it, you're in the process of doing.
Right.
You're in the motion of doing, and because you're in the motion, you're actually setting it forth. You're actually making it happen. I used to make believe that I had money when I was poor. I was like, you know the story. I was on food stamps. I was dead broke, okay? And like I said last time, my electricity was off and my water was off. I had nothing to eat, and I did have to, I eventually happened to have found a dog, okay? I found a dog.
Yeah.
I took it to the Humane Society, all right? And that dog I just happened to see on the wall that they were asking for a reward, and we called the guy right there, and the guy came and gave me $200. I was able to pay the electricity and get some food. That's the way I lived.
That was so cool.
That's exactly the way I lived. But because of that, because I would fake it till I make it. So what would happen was when I would go to an interview, I would, and I had been many years without having any type of job, so I had nothing really to put on my resume. I would make believe in my personality would come across, and I would believe. In other words, I would visualize it in my head so many times that it would come. Then it had no other way of to express itself, but then to actually be that way. That I was coming across as if I was experienced. I would come across as if I knew my stuff. Okay, so then, when a person's kind of like doubting and they're kind of like, I don't know, they have self-doubt and it comes across, it's in their demeanor, it's the way they speak, it's the way they sit. That's not the way I would sit. That's not the way I came across. I would come across like a successful person. And a successful person tends to be able to express themselves very well. They speak kind of like very fast because they really don't have a lot of time, so they speak very fast. They have that kind of personality. They're just an A personality, and it comes across that way. And everything is fast, fast, fast. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Well, I was emulating that. So I faked it. I really did. I faked it. And then at the same time, I would do the visualization. So it wasn't that I was faking it. It's just that the visualization made me into that type of personality that became very desirable for a potential person to hire. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, your vibrations were high. Very high.
I was in the zone.
Yeah.
I was creating. I was co-creating what I wanted, and I was becoming what I wanted, and manifesting the type of personality required to get that kind of job, land that kind of job, and be successful in that kind of job. So faking it till you make it is kind of true. It's all part of the visualization because that's the action part. Remember I talked about the action part? I'm going to get there now. So you feel, you're getting all these senses, and then you're once you know that you've got it, you're feeling what? Elation. You feel gratitude. You're in joy. You're like, wow, man, I landed that job, man. I was one out of 100 people with no experience, and I got the job. Wow. Now I can eat. I can pay my rent. I can have lights in my house. My kids won't go without a glass of milk. Tell me that doesn't feel good, man. That feels great. So I'm in joy. But this is all in my visualization. This is before I've even sat down with anybody. All right? So I'm feeling gratitude. I'm saying thank you to the universe. Thank you. I don't even know how to. My heart is swelling that I feel so grateful. And this is still in my imagination.
I can't believe you asked for more money when they called you.
I was being a little bit like, out there. It's like, okay, well, if I manifested that, I'm going to manifest more. And you can't. There's no limit.
Awesome.
Is there any limit? Is there any limit to God? No, there isn't. There isn't. But anyway, that's exactly what happened. I asked for more, and I did get more. And so now you clap, and you bring it into, you clap, or you feel a sensation in your solar plexus. You might get the little bumps in your, the back of your head, or goosebumps, palpitations, whatever that is, because you're in joy, you're in elation, and then you seal it with an amen, or like very, very strong. It's like I usually will say 4 amens. I'll say amen, 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 and amen. All right, or I'll say, and so it is done, or and so it is done, and so it shall be, and so it is. Okay, something like that. So you're sealing with an affirmation that it's sealed, it's done. There's nothing else to do. And then if you have the courage, walk away from it. Just walk away from it, and don't even worry about it. That's the part that I'm talking about, not being attachment to an expectation or outcome. To the outcome or an expectation. You expect it to happen, so therefore there's nothing else. I expect it to happen. No big deal. Right? You turn on the water, you expect it to come out. You don't think about it. Will it come out? Will it not come out? No, you turn on the faucet. It's done. It's done deal. It's going to come out, right? Unless, of course, something else happened. But, I'm just giving you an example of things that we practice every day. Same thing. Just let it be. Done. Okay? Now, same thing is going to happen. This manifestation process it's no different from manifesting protection. So what I'm going to go over now is the tools that I use for protection, and then we're going to put it all together. So, first one that I use, first of all, first thing you got to do is obviously be in your heart space. So you've got to always practice to get into your heart space. Whether you're good at it already or not, I don't know. If you're good at it, just get in there. Get into the heart space and then find that little tiny holy of holies where you're like breathing and you're going, you're home. You're complete. That's the feeling. You're home. You're being nurtured. You're being cradled. You're in the all that is oneness. You're expansive. You're everything because you're seeing through the eyes of God at that moment. Okay. So if you can do that already by finding it through intuition, then do that. If not, then just do the little elevator thing, the little practice of that, the little leaf going around and just finding that place until you do it over and over again. Then you can find it intuitively. Then you're doing your Kadosh mantra continuously. Then you're playing high-frequency music. It's very important that you do that because if you are not high-frequency already because you're in the world and you step outside the door and you've got a flat and you get upset, you're no longer in high frequency. I promise you, then more than likely you will probably use a curse word and your frequency will go down. So maintaining yourself in high frequency is good. So if you play high frequency music in your car, to give you an example, or if you're doing the Kadosh mantra, that'll get you right up there again. Color is really important. Color is again, it's all about frequency. And there's certain colors that are more high frequency than others. For example, the red color red is not a very high frequency, and the color violet is very high frequency. You don't want to wear blacks if you don't have to. Now, I personally love black. I love wearing black. I think it's very elegant. It also makes me look thinner. So I happen to love black, But I certainly wouldn't have it in my curtains. I don't want to have it on my walls. I had one person that I spoke with about a year ago who had a situation with her child was actually seeing shadow people in the house in next to him. And he was the mother was very, very concerned, and she couldn't understand why shadow people. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what a shadow person is or shadow people, but they're not of the light, okay? And they come in with hats and cloaks and things like that, and it's not good. And they come after kids mostly. But the mother was very, very concerned, and so I consulted her, and the first thing out of my mouth is, okay, describe your room. Describe the room with the child sleeping. And so she tells me, what's in the room, and I go, okay, what color do you have? What colors are in that room? She goes, well, I have black shades, black curtains, and black shades. And one of the walls was painted black. Why? I don't know. Whether it was a music room before, I don't know. And I go, well, first thing you got to do is change those colors like ASAP. Go to Target, go to Walmart, go something, and get purple curtains, or get white curtains. Change the color, paint that wall. And everything I'm telling you guys to raise frequency. Play the music continuously in your home 24/7. Light candles. Do that type of thing. Do the Deutsch mantra. Call on all the things that I do. And the woman did it, and the thing disappeared. So the child, she took pictures of the child. The child had this cloud over it. The poor child, over him, I should say, not it, over him, that was totally, there was just something not of a light attached to the poor kid. So yeah, and it was a long story, but to make to make the whole thing, the whole story short, is that she did everything that I was recommending, and the thing finally cleared and went away. Okay, so what to wear is kind of important, but not totally. But yes, I would recommend, if you had to wear something of light, if you had to make a choice between wearing something that is of high vibration, like a light color or a purple color, versus a red color or a black color, obviously to make the better choice, right? If you're going to go to an opera, maybe you don't want to wear purple, you want to wear black. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying normally. Visualization of violet flame. Okay, so what is the violet flame? The violet flame is obviously a flame. It was brought by an ascended master named Saint Germain. Saint Germain is a true ascended master, not something that some of the truth movements are trying to discredit, or to make look like it's a demonic or fallen being. Yes, there have been many, and there's still many imitating a Saint Germain type. But it's not the true Saint Germain. Okay, Saint Germain is truly an ascended master who's, found his freedom from third world density by being in service to others, by doing all the things that are necessary to be able to do that, to elevate his frequency enough to be able to get out of this realm. Then there are, of course, others, because the dark side will always try to imitate and then bring in this information using people that we are, allowing in, because our guard is down because of that. So if we like Saint Germain and a false one comes in and we don't know how to discern, then we're going to go in, basically embrace all the things that particular being is telling us without really discerning whether it's true or not, because it's Saint Germain. After all, he's not going to lie to us. He's not going to deceive us, so therefore we're open to the deception because we're not discerning. And, of course, if we have no direct experience with Saint Germain, we won't know that it's the false one, because we have no direct experience with the correct one. Therefore, we don't know what his energy signature is like. So you got to be very careful. But the true Saint Germain did bring in what is called the violet flame to this particular realm. What it does is, because of, again, violet is of the highest frequency, it allows us to transmute anything that is not of the highest realms of Divine Creator. It allows us to consume those things that are discordant, those things that are dark, any even diseases, just evil. It will allow us to consume it in that violet flame, and then it transmutes it into pure light. Then that light you can use now to bring it into yourself, or send it to the world if you wish, because that light has to go somewhere. You got to bring it into some issue or some area that needs that light. Okay, so that's what the violet flame does. It's really important that we use that. Circle of light, or the ball of light. Okay, so it's a ball of light that actually goes around you. If you can think of just pure white light coming directly from the throne of Creator, and I use the word throne meaning the center of Creator, where Creator resides. Okay, and the Creator is actually everywhere. But when I'm picturing this, I'm picturing the highest frequency that could possibly be used in that point of 0 point. Where everything is one, and that's the light that is immediately around me, as if it was the skin of me, my own skin. Okay, so it's immediately around me, and it's comprised of all the wonderful frequencies that are directly coming from Prime Creator. Then we have the tube of light. And the tube of light, again, it's the same type of light, except that now it's coming directly from Creator, going through your higher self, or your I Am presence, and then it's being directed down to you. And it looks like actually you're inside a tube. If you can remember what Star Trek looks like when they were doing when they were doing the teleportations, they would use those tubes and whoop, they would be out. That's the tube of light. It would actually be around. It's actually around you. And so that is adding to an additional protection or another layer of protection for you. Again, all full of pure light coming directly from Prime Creator. Then we have the electronic circle. Okay, so the electronic circle is something that is really heavily discussed by the true Ascended Masters. I have to always say it's their true Ascended Masters. They talk about the electronic circle. So it is of electronic nature, of the highest possible frequency that you could imagine. There is nothing like it anywhere. It comes directly from, again, Prime Creator. What happens is that when this is around you, nothing penetrates it, nothing. Like nothing that is not coming directly from Prime Creator and those realms of Prime Creator that are vibrating in that frequency can penetrate it. So no discordant feelings, no psychic attacks, no bullets can penetrate it. If an EMP won't be able to hurt you. A hydrogen bomb won't be able to hurt you. Okay, that's how powerful this thing is, because none of those things are of the realm of Creator at its purest state. You know, those are fallen energies. You know, the energies that are of the lower kind. So those things have no match to this frequency. They can't penetrate it. Do you understand that there's no? It's like a key. It won't be able to turn it, so therefore you can't open the door to get access to you. It doesn't have that same match. So the electronic circle is huge for you to be able to understand. And just think about it as it looks like a sphere, and it goes all around you. And I picture it as golden, electronic, like a golden sphere made out of gold. Okay, that's the way I picture that. And I'm inside that. So all the stuff that I just discussed is inside that electronic circle. And we're going to picture that a little bit further. I'm going to give you a better depiction of it a little bit further down in the conversation. But nothing can penetrate that. That is what is important to understand. Nothing. A hydrogen bomb can explode right next to you, and you've got to know that that the electronic circle is totally uncompromised. Nothing penetrates it. All right, next is I have the Etheric Magnification mirrors. Okay, so those are mirrors that are just like a regular mirror, like you would look at yourself in the mirror in the bathroom or in your dresser or whatever, except that now instead of facing you, it's facing outward. So it's facing outward. So what it does is that anybody or anything or any condition that is putting out negativity or some adverse condition that is directed towards you, it's reflected right back to the source of it. All right? And it's not only does it reflect back like an image would when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, it's coming back multiplied, magnified. So whatever is the source or the cause of that detrimental condition, not only is it going to experience it back, but it's going to experience it a multitude, like magnified. So hopefully that entity or person or whatever that is will hopefully learn a lesson and not attack you again. Sometimes they will receive the affliction back, whatever they're intending, and it comes right back to them, and they don't understand what they did. They don't understand that why their life is turning upside down. They don't understand that it was because it was something that they did to you, that they were addressing towards you, and you were protected in this manner. They're just experiencing, their life is chaos, and they don't know why. Unfortunately, that's one of the things that I don't like, particularly about the whole thing about karma, is because, karma should be experienced immediately, and that person should know why they're experiencing what they're experiencing, like what it was caused, what's causing it. That is really, if it's about lessons, then that's what it should be. I should learn my lesson. It's like, oh, got it. Yes, I was gossiping. I shouldn't have done that. I was judgmental. I shouldn't have done that. Now I understand, and I won't do that again. Or I caused somebody pain or something like that. Now I understand. my life isn't working, I understand why. So now I'm not going to do that again. Now you become a better person. But unfortunately, karma, the way it's explained, is not the way, it can come a couple of lifetimes later, or it's following you around for lifetimes, and it's like, how are you supposed to remember any of this, right? So, but in reality, the mirror thing does happen immediately. Whatever is causing it is going to experience that, whatever their intention was, multiplied. Okay, Cloak of Invisibility and Invincibility is a cloak. If you can think about, like a drape or a tablecloth, just make believe that tablecloth is got properties that when you place it over a table, that table and the tablecloth are disappearing. They're just basically just gone. It's not that they're not there. It's that you can't see it. You can't see it, therefore there's no way you can access it. There's no way you can see it. I have had so many stories with this. It's just not even funny how this works, because it's foolproof. It is foolproof. It works every time. I promise you. At least for me it does. It works for me because I know how to use it. I've been using it since I was a kid. I would actually use it without knowing it was a cloak, without knowing that this was for real, but I would use it because I just knew I could. It's like, and I had an uncle that was a pain in the royal butt, okay? He was a lot younger than my father was by many years, and he was always a joker and a teaser, and he would always find me and tickle me. I mean, I couldn't escape this. To me, it was torture because I don't like to be tickled. I really don't. I mean, it's like I get this like nervous laugh, and it's like nervousness, and it's like annoying, and I would try to hide from this guy, and I just couldn't hide because he'd find me all the time. Until I said, you know what? I'm going to start becoming invisible. What the heck did I know, right? It's like, I was already connected. I was doing other stuff. It's like, okay, well, I'll just become invisible. And I would put this cloak over me, and the guy, I would be standing in the room. He couldn't see me. Okay, now it's like, and I'm like, holy cow, he can't see me. It's like, he really can't see me. I couldn't believe it. So I kept practicing this thing over and over. So next time he would come in, it's like I would hide. Sometimes I would be under the bed. I would hide under the bed, but he would find me under the bed many times, right, before. But now I would be under the bed. Now I would cloak myself. And he would look under the bed, and he couldn't see me. He could not see me. So I'm going, oh, man, this is great. So, again, I grew up with that, okay? So I'm telling you. And so psychically, when I don't want somebody to read me, I don't want somebody to know about me, I don't want them to, to get into my space I'll put the cloak on, and they can't read me. They cannot see me. They can't figure me out, nothing. So psychically it works like a charm as well. And then, when I'm traveling on the expressway, one of the things I do, of course, is the Kdosh, and then I will cloak my car, and I'll cloak myself, and the cops can't pick me up. They can't find me. They'll shoot I'll see them point the gun at my car, and I know, because by the time that I realize that they're there, they've already caught me, but they don't catch me. They catch the guy behind me who's following me, because they think that they can ride in my wake. So they catch them, but they don't catch me. Anyway, so that's just an example. So Cloak of Invisibility is real. I imagine it to be a cloak. Of course, I'm putting it around me, and I'm gone, disappear, just like Harry Potter. Yes. So Tom is saying yes. Does that work? Yeah, he knows that it works. Because he knows how to use it, and it's working like a charm for him as well. All right, so the last thing I put on is I call on all my beloved, hierarchy, or if you want to call it hierarchy. I've known them as hierarchy, although a lot of people don't understand that it's not hierarchy, that one is more powerful than the other, that one is of more importance than the other. It's just called a hierarchy because of the way that it was set up. There are realms that are closest to Prime Creator, and then there are those, as you step down, that are further away to Prime Creator, all the way down to us. So in terms of hierarchy, we are at the totem pole, at the bottom of the rung, of the ladder, okay? And then, of course, then you have your angels, and you have the higher ones and archangels, and your higher ones, and then Elohim and creator gods and things like that. It's just because those are the roles that they have. Okay, but it doesn't mean that one role is more important than the other. It's like every one of these beings that are in service to Prime Creator have a role that each one is unique and very important. Okay, so an angel is no less than an archangel. It's just that the role of an archangel is different than a role of an angel. Same thing when somebody addresses somebody else, for example, what we call the Orion Jerusalem Command, otherwise known as the ultra-terrestrials. Okay, if you hear somebody say commander so-and-so, commander, it's not because one is a commander because it's a term showing respect. Okay, a Christ is a title. It's a consciousness. So it's not the fact that Jesus Christ is his last name or anything like that. And I know a lot of you know that. I'm just trying to explain that a lot of people have misconstrued a lot of this stuff with these titles and things like that. So I call it in the hierarchy, which is my immediate hierarchy that I use for protection is Michael. I work directly with Michael. That's who I work with. I mean, I could say, well, I work directly with Jesus. I do work directly with Jesus, but when it comes with, and I don't call him Jesus, I call him Yeshua, but anyway, when it comes to protection, I always call on Michael because he is the one that tends to take care of business when it has to do with the lower realms. So that's who I call, not because of any other reason. So I know Michael because I'm usually in counsel with Michael, so I know his energy signature. But besides that, when I call on Michael, I always have him in front of me. I see him directly, and I will do the Kadosh mantra with him to make sure that it's not an imposter. So not only do I pick up on his energy signature because I already know his energy signature, I know his demeanor, I know how he speaks, I know the tone, I know all of that, I know his energy. But at the same time, I'll always do the Kadosh mantra because, number one, it's a greeting. I always, when you're talking to those beings in those realms, the greeting is the Kadosh mantra. It's out of reverence to Creator. And then second, if they're not in service to Creator, they will not say the Kadosh mantra back to you. So Michael, when I'm in front of him, will always say it back to me, always. Otherwise, it's not Michael. But I would have already known it's not Michael because I already know the other things, right? But if you haven't dealt with Michael before, then please do the Kadosh mantra when you're calling Michael in front of you. Do the Kadosh mantra 3 times, and he has to repeat it back to you 3 times. And he's not going to voice it like you're going to hear a voice. You're going to perceive it. You're going to hear it in your mind, and telepathically he'll communicate that with you. You'll feel it in your heart as well. Remember, you've got to be in your heart space when you're doing all of this. So your heart will know immediately whether that's Michael or not because of the way he's saying the Kadosh mantra, or if he's saying it at all. So you'll perceive it through your heart. Okay? So I call on him and I'll say, Michael, I need your protection. Or, Michael, I need you to protect me from this, whatever. Remember, the situation, you got to be very specific. In my situations, for example, if I've had a demonic situation or demons who are trying to catch my attention, who are trying to play, they're trying to undermine my authority, I will do all my protections, and then I'll say I'm calling Michael, and they'll leave at that moment, or I'll actually call Michael. Say, Michael, you've got to address the situation right now, and I automatically perceive him through my third eye and my heart. I actually perceive him taking action, and I'll actually see him taking action with his entourage of all his angels, of all the angels that of all his main people, his main angels and archangels that are working alongside with him, or his legion of angels that he'll disperse to my aid, and I'll actually see that happen. And I've many times watched him escort the entities out. They're actually escorted out, and I don't know what happens afterwards, but they don't come back. They're done. And this is what I witnessed in front of my house, inside my house and outside my house when the situation with my car happened. That the archangels and the legions of angels were coming in by the droves, that I could actually perceive this, okay? Because I'm calling on the aid of the hierarchy. Because if you don't call on them, they're not going to come in. They're not going to come in because, remember, they respect our free will. they, unlike the dark side, who don't respect our free will, they do. And unless you are asking, they can watch you like, in turmoil. They can watch you in a situation that is huge, like it's a catastrophe, and they will not, because it's a lesson that it's your journey. It's a lesson you need to learn. But unless you ask for help, they will not come in. That's how amazing that is. But because I had been doing the Kadosh, I've been doing it so long, and I do work directly with Michael. When I was saying help, it was a car situation, and I'm assuming that those people that are listening to the call, of course, have read that chapter, because I'm not going to disclose that, but or go into that. But yes, I was going through a major situation where I was majorly being interfered with by the dark forces, and the light was coming in and also pushing back and correcting, because I was asking for help. All right, so. The way that I install all this is I go into the whole mindset of the manifestation steps, and then I will start installing this one by one. So I'm constantly doing the Kadosh mantra, like I always said. That cannot be a step you bypass. You cannot bypass the Kadosh mantra, because it's a vortex, and it's a shield. It has so many things that that it does. It raises your frequency, so it gets you already into that mindset, into that frequency that you need to touch upon those higher realms. You're going to be able to create them, be co-creator with God, with our Creator. So definitely do that. Then I'll sit down in my whatever space I've designed for myself. Remember, you could be doing this because you're going to shield yourself and protect yourself, because you're going to go into meditation. You might be doing this because you're going to go into maybe somebody's home. You've never been to their home before, and you kind of feel a little, you want to be protected because you don't know what kind of people are there and what they believe in, and you just don't want to be tainted. You don't want your aura to be, your field to be tainted. You want to protect yourself. You might be going into a family situation where you know that there's a lot of animosity and a lot of feuding. You might want to protect yourself. Okay, you'll be going into a hospital where a lot of people might be passing, away. They're dying, and they have terrible diseases and things like that. Well, all this is negative stuff. You don't want to be in that kind of situation without protecting yourself. These aren't I'm giving you examples. Same thing with Patty addressed. She's living in a neighborhood that is, she needs protection. She needs shielding. She needs to be invisible from these things. So these are all the things. Now, do you have to have an altar? Do you have to be sitting down, with incense and candles? No, you are your own altar. You can be sitting in your car doing this. Okay, if you can't have high frequency music and you can't be putting on the light colors, but you're doing your Kadosh mantra, right? That takes precedence, because that's all-encompassing. That does everything for you. Okay, so you do your Kadosh mantra, and if you can play high-frequency music, fantastic. If you don't, then don't. But what you can do is surround yourself with that ball of light. Okay, that light is extremely, extremely important. Yes, and Tom says, at least don't be listening to low-frequency music. Oh, please don't listen to low-frequency music. Definitely don't do that, because it'll just undo everything you just tried to do. Okay, so definitely keep your vibration as high as possible. So surround yourself with a ball of light, that circle of light that I mentioned to you, which is very, very tight-knit around you. You can make it as small or as large as you want to, but just know that you're sitting in this basking like it's another skin over you. Okay, so you're in that bubble. It's like a bubble, as if you were a goldfish, and that globe of light, that ball of light, is your fish tank. Okay, so now you're in there. Okay, you're basking in the light of Creator. Then after I do that, and you're, of course, visualizing all this, remember we're doing the manifestation techniques where you're feeling it, you're sensing that light around you, you're in it, you're sitting there, and you're looking at it from your heart space, right? Don't forget, you're always looking at everything from your heart. Got to be in that heart space. So you're sitting in there basking in this light that looks like a sphere that's kind of tight-knit, around you, maybe no more than, I would say maybe worst case scenario, 5 feet on each side, on all sides, all around, no more than that, okay? Then you're going to visualize the violet flame over that. So it's the violet. So the violet flame is over that. It's outside of that. So you're going to picture the violet flame. It's an actual flame of violet color going all the way from the bottom of your feet all the way up to your higher self, which is your I am presence, which is above you. Okay? So you're going to visualize that and just bask in that coming from your heart space. Just picture those two things right now. So you're sitting inside that globe of light, and it's pure white light. And outside of it, from your heart, you can see the violet flame surrounding it. And it's moving just like it would, like a flame would move, but it's violet. And it's all surrounding that globe, all the way from the bottom of your feet. I would say, I would even go to the center of the earth if you want to. All the way from the bottom of your feet to the center of the earth, all the way up to your higher, to the mighty I am presence, which is your higher self. And just bask in that for a little bit. And anything that is discordant in your life, anything that is negative, that is an adverse condition, just throw it in there and watch it be consumed. It's going to be consumed where it is absolutely no more. And now it's going to be transmuted into pure white light. And that light, now send it to the planet. Send it to heal humanity. And just feel it disappear. Just feel it be no more. It's no longer what it was before. Now it's in alignment with the Creator because it's pure white light, the light of the Creator. Now we're going to bring down the tube of light over all of that. So from your mighty I am presence, bring down this tube of pure, brilliant light from Creator, from the throne of the Creator, that's going to be given to your higher self, and your higher self is now going to project it all around you. It's going to go around the violet flame, and it's going to go around the circle of light that you're in. It's a tube of light, so it's another added layer of protection, of pure light of Creator. Observe this and feel this through your heart, because you're looking at the world and everything through your heart. You're in that sacred space. You're completely shielded from the outside world, from anything that is of lower density, from a reality that is not in alignment with the Creator. You're now in the world, in the realms of Creator. The violet flame keeps flickering. It's still there. And the tube of light is surrounding you. Now we're going to install the electronic circle of the mighty I am presence. And now picture a golden sphere around everything. So the golden sphere is over the tube of light, which is, the tube of light is over your violet flame, and your violet flame is surrounding your white circle of light. And you're in the middle. So this golden sphere is enormous. It could be the size of your home or even bigger than that. And you make it as big as you want to. But it's impenetrable. Nothing will penetrate it. And I want you to look at it, sitting in the position that you're in from your heart space, where you can see through the golden globe, and then you see through the violet flame. I want you to see through the tube of light, and then you'll be able to depict the golden sphere outside of that. Now, from that heart space, from that point of view of your heart space, I want you to imagine the world as we know it falling apart. Chaos. And the outside, chaos. The worst thing that you can possibly imagine happening outside of that sphere. And you're inside, unperturbed. You're in total peace. You're in harmony with the Creator. You're one with the Creator. You're in joy. You're in bliss. You are whole. It doesn't matter what you're imagining in the outside world. It doesn't matter what mankind is doing. There's nothing is going to affect you. You're shielded, completely shielded within that sphere. Not one hair on your head will move. And now we're going to place the etheric magnification mirrors. And we're going to place those mirrors facing outside of you, facing away from you, all around the electronic circle. So think of mirrors like little mosaics surrounding the entire sphere of the electronic circle. And they're all facing outward. And imagine someone trying to send you ill thoughts or discord or gossiping about you or any type of other psychic or other attack. It will not reach the electronic circle of the Mighty I Am Presence, because it will be bounced back to its source. And whatever energy, whatever adverse condition, whatever thoughts that are meant to hurt you will be sent back to its source multiplied. And now we're going to cloak ourselves. We're going to imagine this huge cloak of energetic fabric, of high-frequency fabric, golden in color. We're going to place that over the etheric mirrors. And that's going to, of course, cover the electronic circle of the Mighty I Am Presence as well. It's going to obviously cover all the other things that we've installed, the tube of light, the violet flame, and the globe of light, and us inside. So we're going to place this golden fabric over us, and we become invisible. So if we're sitting in a chair, meditating, or in our car doing this, or wherever we picture ourselves, we're placing this over us, and we're seeing ourselves from a higher perspective. We don't see us anymore. The chair will have no one on it. The place you're sitting, we won't be able to see you. You won't be able to see yourself. You're basically gone from your own detection. So you're gone from the detection of anything that is not in alignment with Creator. So make sure that you're seeing nothing at the place where you're sitting. And you're still sitting correctly. You're still sitting and watching everything from your heart space. But when you look at it from the perspective of a higher perspective, as if you were watching it from your higher self, you can't see yourself sitting where you're at. At the same time, you can observe all these different tools that have been installed through your heart space, because you're still intact. And now we're going to call on Michael. So call him forth. Say, Michael, I need your help. Watch him come to you. You should see him stand right in front of you. When you feel him and you see him, in your mind, do the Kadosh, 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 Adonai, Tsebayoth 3 times, and wait for him to reply. Once you feel he's replied, or you sense it in your heart, or you feel it telepathically, state your case. Let him know what you need him to do for you, how you need to be protected. Now observe how he dispatches his legions of angels to surround you. The legions of angels will be millions of them, and they will surround all these tools that you've installed. They're surrounding the Cloak of Invisibility, which of course is surrounding the etheric mirrors, which is surrounding the electronic circle, which is surrounding the tube of light, which is surrounding the violet flame, which is surrounding the globe of light. So you are completely shielded. Nothing can penetrate the legions of angels, and nothing can penetrate the etheric mirrors or the electronic circle. And you're looking at all of this from the perspective of being in your heart space. So if the world tomorrow were to split in half, if a major cataclysm were to occur, you're in your heart space, shielded and surrounded by all the angels and archangels, the electronic circle, and all the other tools. You are complete and whole. Not one hair on your head will be moved. And you know that you know that you know that you know with absolute certainty that this is true, and there is absolutely no other outcome but that. And you feel it in your solar plexus that it is indeed the truth. And you feel joy and elation that you are shielded in this way. And you have your heart palpitate because you're in happiness and so much joy. Or you clap and you say, Amen. And so it is done, and so it is, and so it shall be, forever and ever and ever. Amen. And this is what I've asked for you while doing this, and what you've done for yourselves by doing this. This is how you protect yourself from the adversity of the world and from any psychic or demonic attacks. I promise you, nothing will mess with you again. And so it is. Any comments? Any questions? You're all okay?
Wow. Yes, it was beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Patty, you're fine. You're just fine. Do this. If you don't remember how to do it, we listen to this recording so that you know how to install it.
Okay.
It has to come from power. You never, ever, 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 ever do anything anymore coming from a position of powerlessness, of lacking. Okay, we are divine. This is our inheritance. This is our right to protect ourselves from these things that are unleashed on this planet. And there is a reason it's unleashed. There is a reason. But we have to make the choice of using the gifts that are our right to use, that have been given because we are divine. If you don't realize that you're divine, then it's not going to work. If you don't use all the tools that we've used all the way up to now to get us to this point, it won't work. Because you've got to know, knowing that all that we just did is absolutely true. It's happened. You're shielded and protected. Period. No other outcome. It is done. And when you feel that joy and elation, that records into the Akashic Records. It has no choice but to play out. When you come from that knowing, you're empowered. You come, then you can talk to others with authority because you are a representative of the divine throne of God. Does that all make sense to you all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Any other questions or comments or thoughts?
Can you hear me?
I can. Who's this?
This is Eileen.
Hi.
Hello. Just one quick question.
Sure.
Because we're still human,
Mm-hmm.
and I love the whole thing about protection and all that, and I can do it so well. But, you know, if just once in the blue moon a negative thought comes from us out to another person, and we can stop it instantaneously. But
Yes.
somehow I feel that the magnification mirror, if it's both-sided, if it's two-sided, and if I send out a negative thought, which usually I wouldn't, but that it stops it straight away because it'll come back to myself.
Yes. Well, yes, that's usually what happens. And, if, of course, the magnification mirrors the way that I've installed them. The mirror part of it that reflects is facing outward from me. So I'm trying to protect myself from incoming stuff. Now, you don't want to, put out anything negative to anyone else, and you're correct, because we are still human, and if we're not doing all the things that we've practiced at the beginning of this whole conference series, which is, to be very, very careful and vigilant of your thoughts, your emotions, what you speak, your actions, all of those things, then first of all, we're not mastering ourselves. So if the beauty of it is if we're doing this really, really fervently because we really want to desire to have mastery, then we're being very careful of how we're putting things out there, or what things we're saying, what emotions. Therefore, we can catch ourselves really quickly and reverse that, okay? It's usually, unless people know about these techniques, usually they're not protecting themselves that way, and unfortunately for them, because then they get the brunt of our bad habits and our lack of mastery, shall we say. But you're absolutely right. But it's usually what happens when it comes back to you. It's karmic. It's almost like what goes around comes around type of thing. And I've noticed that because of the timeline we're in, it's not taking lifetimes to learn lessons. It usually comes back very quickly. Mm-hmm. When you do something that is incorrect action to someone else, it usually comes back a lot quicker, and you can determine, oh my goodness, I did something wrong. I need to correct that. It comes back a lot faster, so you can realize it.
Exactly, in seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. That was great. That's a good point. Anyone else? We're all good? Okay.
We're all good.
All right, good. I just want to make sure everybody...
One quick, I had a quick question that popped up. Can we do this for other people, like our children or our parents?
Definitely. I would definitely do it for my children. I do this... Thank you for reminding me. That was very good. I'm glad you did that. Okay, so I've got a squeaky chair, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm just going back and forth on my squeaky chair. I don't know if you can hear it. Okay. So my children are grown up, okay? But they'll always be my children. And I have grandchildren. And I love them. And I have an agreement, shall we say, with the higher-ups, meaning the ones that are representatives of the light, that are in service to Creator, that I work with, that I will do the work for Creator, I will do the work for the light, and I ask them to please protect my loved ones as well. So we have an agreement that is part of the deal, of the package of the fringe benefits of the job, shall we say, is that I want my loved ones to be protected. But at the same time, I do all these techniques. So the way that I do that is I don't take them individually. You can if you want to. But what I do is in the sphere, in that small, the first little circle of light, instead of having myself in it, I envision all my loved ones in it. So I make it bigger. See what I'm saying? Whether you can make it smaller or bigger.
Oh, that's more efficient.
I make it bigger. I'm sorry? Huh?
It's more efficient.
It's more efficient. So I make it the size of a room. So I'm envisioning the circle to be the size of a room, and I see, my kids in there, which are big, of course, with their loved ones, whether it's a spouse or a fiance or boyfriend or whatever, and then I see my grandkids in there, and I see my partner in there, and I see my parents in there, and all the people that are my immediate most important group of people I see in that circle, because those are the ones that they've agreed to take care of, and I'm making sure that I visualize it, that I'm co-creating that with them. All right, and then I install everything, just like I just did personally. I install it in that group. Okay, so I will put the violet flame over it, over that circle. I then will bring the tube of light from our individual, higher selves. So the tube of light now is a combination of our higher selves tube of light, and it's bigger and it encompasses the whole thing. Then I will visualize, then I will put the electronic circle over all of us. Then I put the magnification mirrors all around that. I put the cloak of invisibility over us until I feel, every time I install something, I feel a click, like it's done. It's like, okay, I see myself in the globe of light, in the circle of light, the first one. I see it. When I see it and I feel it, and I know that I know, I get this little click in my solar plexus. Done. It's there. I see it. I'm feeling it. I'm sensing it. I can see them. I can. We're talking. We're laughing. We're in that globe. Boom! I feel that joy, and I click. It's like a click. I almost do it like a high five. Thank you. So that first installation is done. And then I put the second installation, which would be the violet flame. I see it. I sense it. I feel it. It's all around us. It's consuming anything that is negative in our lives, that is detrimental to our lives and to us being prosperous, and et cetera, et cetera. I feel it. It's consuming it. It's transcended everything, and now I know it turned into light. Whatever was negative is now light. I feel it, boom. I know it happened, and I feel elation and joy, and I feel it in my solar plexus. I give myself a high five. I install the next one. The next one being the tube of light. It comes down. I feel it. I sense it. I could see them looking at it. We're all in it. We're protected. Boom. High five. It's done. The next one, the circle, electronic circle of my own presence. Again, I can. The way that I do that is I know that the world is falling apart. Everything is chaos, the way that everybody can possibly imagine, and worse. Okay? But nothing is affecting us. Why? Because we're shielded in there. We're cocooned in there. Nothing. When I see that happening, and I know we're all good, we're having a great time, and the world is dissolving around us, and it's doesn't even pertain to us. Boom! High five. I feel it. I know it. It's certain. Oh my God! It's awesome. It's done. Okay, and then that's the way I install it, one by one by one by one. The next one will be the etheric mirrors. Everything is reflecting back. Nothing's coming to us. Nothing. And then I put the cloak. They can't even see us. Nothing can see us that is not of the high vibration of Prime Creator, or of those that are in service to Prime Creator. Then again, high five. And then I ask Michael, shield all of us. Surround us with your legions of angels, and have them be on guard around us continuously, perpetually so, eternally so. And he puts all his legions of angels around us like guards. So try going through that. It is not happening. So and then on top of all that, I asked them to please put a tensor beam. Remind me, that'll be for our next conversation, hopefully. A tensor beam that comes from those that are of the ultra-terrestrials that know pinpoints exactly where we are at all times. In the event that we have to be zipped out of here, we are. And so I know that is done. Why? Because I see myself in potential, ships if that has to happen, because a disaster happened, which shouldn't happen that way. But if it does have to happen, believe you me, they are out there protecting that way. If it has to happen for possible evacuation, it would happen that way. So that, on top of that, I add that piece to the puzzle as well. So that is all done. We're completely taken off planet to a much higher frequency, and we're shielded that way as well. I see that. I feel it. I know it's happened, and done. Boom. Feel it. High five. Done. And all I do is thank you for allowing us to be on board this beautiful ship where, we're safe and sound. And that's the way I do that. And I do this right before going to bed. I put, I have that music, high frequency music playing all the time in my room. When I go to bed, it's playing. When I wake up, it's playing. And so I will lay in my pillow, and I'm doing the Kadosh mantra. And while I'm doing the Kadosh mantra unceasingly, because it's white noise behind me, the Kadosh mantra is white noise. It takes over my thoughts. At the same time, I'm installing all of this over my whole family, my friends. Then I do my friends, and I do everything. I do all those people that I know that are servants of the light, that are my friends, that need protection, all of that. I do that as well. So once I get my family taken care of and that's done, then I do everybody else and I put them in a group, and that's done. Then I know that we're good. We're good to go. and I fall asleep doing the Kadosh mantra. So then I'm listening to high vibration music, and I'm doing the Kadosh mantra. I fall asleep, so I'm in the state of consciousness where I'm not in the physical and I'm not in the. I'm just right there where I'm in both worlds, and I'm doing a lot of work, and I'm remembering a lot of stuff that's coming down. I'm giving a lot of information of things that are coming down and things that instructions of what I need to do next, and what I need to do next. That I wake up the next morning, I remember all of it.
Wow.
So this is like really cool stuff, guys. Really cool stuff. So, and I promise you that, you know, when you start working with this and doing it over and over again, your life will change. I promise.
Really cool.
We all good?
All good. Thank you,
all
Ari.
Right. Thank you, guys. Anybody, you have a question?
Ari, just, you know, in looking after our loved ones, and what if there is just one loved one who has kind of, and still causes problems?
Mm-hmm.
And so, how
do you deal with that?
How do you bring that person in to the shield of protection?
Well, you know, one of the things that I will do for a person like that is difficult like that or causes problems and things like that is that, first of all, I get into my heart space. I do all the things that we've discussed in other prior teleconference calls. Most important one is to get into your heart space. You can get in your heart space, and then from there you go into your higher self. You picture yourself being in you are your higher self. You are the I am presence. You are looking at the world from that perspective too. So you're in your heart space, but you are your higher self. And from that higher self's perspective, now you're addressing the higher self of that individual that has the problem.
Yeah.
Believe you me that the higher self of that individual wants only the best for that individual. So you would ask permission. So I would like to work with the so-and-so. Do you give me permission that I can help them, that I can protect them through the violet flame, using the violet flame? When you feel that you get absolutely yes, absolutely, then go ahead and then do the shielding and using the violet flame over that person. So that anything that is of discord, anything that is of lower energy vibration, all those things, any entities, all that can be dissolved.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
That was a good question. Thank you for asking.
That was a good question. Very good question.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. And then again, I would still install that person, or I would even just shield that person separately until you feel that person, has actually turned around or is turning around.
Yeah.
Anyone else? And remember, if you don't think of anything now, if you think about it later, just ask. Put it in the group, ask the question. I will answer it there. Then next week we're going to go into how to heal ourselves and heal others. That's also part of the manifestation techniques. It's just that we use a little bit different things, but other tools. But it's all the same thing, guys. It's just variation of the same thing.
Mm.
That's what it is. And so we'll do that. And then the following week after that, I would love for you guys to start thinking about any questions or instances or positive results that you've gotten up to now, because I'd love to open the floor and discuss these things with you. And that'll probably end up being our last one, not next week, but the following week. And then at least in terms of instruction, we can obviously continue these, and so that we can, help each other out and have conferences where, we can all, because we really need to be together. We can't do things alone anymore. The lone wolf thing does not work anymore. We really need to stick together now. And our feed from our energy, our high vibration, as we start getting higher and higher and higher, then we can start manifesting a much better reality for ourselves, and also start affecting positive results for our neighborhood and for our city and for, the world. But, we've got to stick together, huh?
I love that. Thank you so much.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it really, but once we master ourselves, then we can now start changing the world.
Exactly.
What a concept, huh?
Yeah.
I know. So that's what we're planning to do. So it doesn't mean that because we stop the instruction, the formal instruction, in 2 more weeks, it doesn't mean that we let loose. We're very much vested into this, and our whole point is to start changing this world to the positive until we no longer have to be here. Until they say, okay, well, you're released from that, and then we go to somewhere else, and we do it somewhere else. But then the next time you go at it around again, if you do volunteer to do this type of work again, you'll remember how to do this, and it'll be so much easier for you. Okay? All right, so we're going to call it night.
Tom. Thank you, Tom, for helping me get back on the line. And
Tom is awesome.
I love your sense of humor. You are so funny. My guides told me I have to quit being so silly. I'm a little too silly. So
now you have to be silly. You have to be silly. You know why? Because joy, that brings joy to yourself and to others. And joy is one of the highest vibrations that you can have. So silly is a good thing.
Don't take seriously.
Exactly. Don't take yourself too seriously. You know what? The Ascended Masters don't either. The true ones don't. They're very, very funny and very silly, and believe me, I have laughed very, very hard with Saint Germain, the true one. He's very funny.
That little monk inside of me looks like a Smurf or something. He's so funny looking.
Oh my gosh, that is funny.
But he's brown. He's not blue.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, guys. Well, I'll let you go. You have a great rest of the weekend. Love you all. And keep practicing. Love you too, honey. Keep practicing.
Love you too, Ari. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome. Thank you for showing
everybody.
up.
Good night. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
God bless.